At a personal level, what's your highlight with M-PESA?
I think my highlight with M-PESA is that it's as old as my children. So M-PESA turned 17 this year, and so my children also turned 17, so it's very exciting. So I am growing with M-PESA literally. So I think that's a big insight for me. And another fun fact about M-PESA is that it actually reaches all levels, irrespective of who you are. You're able to connect with someone in such a personal way. Just by using M-PESA. I'll always know your name, and I've discovered your full names. I won't repeat yours, but you will now know all my full names by my ID, and so that just makes it even that more fulfilling, that you're truly connecting as individuals, as businesses, as you exchange.
M-PESA has been a part of Kenya's life for more than 17 years now. It's been a central feature in our daily lives as we use it to send and receive money, make payments, take insurance, pay bills, buy airtime, and many more features on it. M-PESA has extended its reach to over 8 regions in Africa, and it started from the SIM toolkit to the USSD to now on the Super App, which is the M-PESA app. M-PESA is also the largest mobile money service in Africa, and it's also the biggest platform in the fintech industry. Thank you so much for joining the Safaricom Newsroom podcast. My name is Julian Kamau, and today I'm joined by none other than Esther Masese Waitito, who's the Chief Financial Services at Safaricom PLC. Karibu sana, Esther.
Good afternoon, Julian. Thank you for having me. Jokingly, a lot of the team here call me Mama M-PESA because the team that runs and builds M-PESA, the average age is about 32. So it's a team of very youthful, charismatic, young individuals who really want to make a difference in people's lives. And so why is M-PESA as successful as it has been, to answer your question? So today we have at least 61% of the total population in Kenya actually using M-PESA. In fact, I think I need to start lobbying to get this into the dictionary because M-PESA equals money. And why has it been so popular? And why do people love M-PESA? Number one, it's simple. It's easy to transact, and in Safaricom, we think about connectivity of all things. So we connect you in terms of engaging with your loved ones when you use mobile data, when you use our voice services. Now, M-PESA comes in to connect your financial services all under that spirit of connectivity. So if you're looking to pay your loved one, if you're looking to pay for a service, M-PESA is there for you. When you're looking to trade, as a trader, it is the quickest way to receive money because it's instant. Actually, that's what gave M-PESA, the ability to be as successful as it was. It was an instant SMS, less than 30 seconds. You had a confirmation of how much money was sent to you, who sent you the money, and you're off along your way. So it's transparent, it is simple to use, it is convenient because it's also layered on a normal tool that you use every day to engage with others. So that's what's made M-PESA extremely popular and easy to use. So we're very proud to say that literally every adult, 61% of our population today, because we've got 34.6 30-day active users using M-PESA for 16 days in a month. So that means for every single day for half a month, you're literally using M-PESA to complete and conclude all your transactions in every sphere. If you think about transport, Pochi la Biashara has become very popular. That's how you pay your transport fees. If you think about schools, in fact, all the schools have an M-PESA option in terms of how they service and provide solutions to the parents who are looking to pay. If you think about government is our largest partner and customer. When you think about any service that you need to do via eCitizen, all of it is literally done off M-PESA. So we've integrated utility companies, businesses, and individuals to build this wonderful ecosystem that we have today.
I'm just curious, how does it feel to build the largest fintech platform in Africa?
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. But when you're building, you don't even know that you're the biggest. You're building, you're actually looking to provide a solution and a service. We've got teams that work, all night, go home at 4 a.m, 5 a.m, just to make sure that the committed service that we're going to deliver is delivered. And so when that's happening, I don't really think you think that you're number one or the largest, but your focus is around how do I deliver a seamless, uninterrupted service to our consumers. And that's it. So I really can't tell you that we feel like we're the biggest. We just feel that we're here to provide a solution to our customers, to our partners, and for businesses and government to make sure that they also are meeting their part of the bargain.
And I would assume it comes with the responsibility, right?
Oh, yes.
Because you have to constantly make sure that all these people who are on this platform are consistently having a frictionless experience as they're using your services, right? It started from the SIM toolkit, then moved to USSD, and now we're on the M-PESA Super App. Maybe you can tell us the journey of how the application has moved up to where we are, and are we looking to see a super app, and where will be that?
So M-PESA has evolved. When we first started, because it was a tool that we were creating to make sure that our customers who are connecting via voice had an option to do other services on the platform. Because, like any business, we have to make sure that we're providing as many solutions on our platform to maximize the benefit that our customers are going to have. And so we started off with the SIM toolkit. All of us knew how to use the SIM toolkit. So our consumers were all educated and have continued to educate others. It's like a fire. I'll teach you how to do something. When I'm not present, you'll teach the next person how to do something. So this is all around consumer behavior. So that till today remains one of the most popular ways of paying or using M-PESA. However, as technology has evolved, we also need to adopt our channels to suit where technology is going. Enter the introduction of USSD, where we had one unified, USSD number, which is *334 hash, for you to be able to access different products and solutions. And part of this was also linked to the development or the evolution of the cell phone, right? Remember, we're using 2G, 3G, we're using feature phones. And so having an interface where, on a smartphone where you can engage, a touch screen, you can then upload pictures, that has also evolved. So we've also had to evolve with the technology that phones are evolving with in order for us to provide our customers with the right experience. So you can see the SIM toolkit was in the era where feature phones were very popular, and we've continued to evolve where USSD became another method. And now that we're seeing an increased penetration of smartphones, we birthed the super app so that you can have a holistic experience. You can verify. So some of the big enhancements like you'd see, and our super app is now going to be 3 years old in the month of August. So we've really made steps in terms of ensuring that we transition our customers to a much better experience and showcase a lot more to our customers. So the super app essentially has digitized and further simplified your ability to transact, whether you're paying on a till, whether you're paying on a pay bill, whether you're paying person to person, whether you're purchasing airtime. Now, through that interface, it's allowed our partners to also showcase their different services in that super app platform. So today, if you go, there's a section which is purely around financial services. So if you want to invest, we've got a tool there called Mali. You can go in and invest and see how your savings are growing. If you want to pay your NHIF, now which is moving to SHIF, again, there's an interface there that allows you to make that payment directly, where you enter into their mini app and it enables you to then connect and make your payment seamlessly. When you think about transport, when you want to book your flight, again, there's a mini app there which you've integrated with. So if you're looking for a flight, you're given flight options, you can choose and be able to pay. Now, for those of us who are mothers who have children who want to eat out most of the time, especially on the weekends, we've integrated with the large, fast food companies so that they can also showcase their application. So you can then order online while you're still in the super app. So this has really evolved. So if you think about transport, there are many apps that support the transport sector. When you think about entertainment, Again, there are apps that support entertainment. If you think about MOOC, when you want to buy a ticket to go to a concert, you don't have to come out of the M-PESA experience. You complete your entire transaction plus the show you want to get for within the super app. And the same thing applies for government services. When you think of the higher education loans board and you're a student and you want to check and see whether your funds have come in again, or you even want to repay your loan, all of that is then available for you on the super app. So we are evolving as technology continues to evolve. And very soon with the advent of AI, artificial intelligence, we're then also going to be able to give you a personalized experience. You do not need to go through all those different areas to find out what you need. Based on your consumer behavior and the fact that you're using the app, we'll be able to then personalize our service based on what you want as an individual. So if you're a young person who just wants food and entertainment, that's what we'll showcase to you. The minute we see you starting to look for other government services, again, we'll surface that for you. You don't have to troll and go through all the mini apps. Today, we've got a total of about 84 mini apps available on our platform, which showcase a variety of different sectors. So we have to make sure that how you're able to discover these services is also very simple and based on your specific requirements.
Wow. Okay, those are quite a number of applications. I mean, 84 apps on one super app also makes the lives of our consumers easier, right? Because they're able to pay on the go. Okay, on my next question is, how is M-PESA positioning itself to financially inclusive and digital Africa?
Financial inclusion in this country was at 23%. Today, based on the statistics as of 2023, financial inclusion had actually increased to 84%. Okay, so what does that mean? Financial inclusion basically is access to financial services. Are you able to access money to do your transactions? Are you able to borrow money for any of your requirements? Are you able to also save and invest? And taking it to the next level, are you then also able to protect these investments that you have made? So the role that M-PESA wants to continue to play is that of enabling all these financial services on our platform. Like we mentioned earlier, having 34.6 million customers on our platform gives us the ability to provide all these services. Today, on M-PESA, you can make all your payments. Payment is absolutely not a problem. And in fact, where we want to go with payments is not only just enabling domestic payments, but we are the largest international money remittance transfer company, where we work to different aggregators across the globe to aggregate funds to bring money back home. The diaspora inflows, even when you check with the central bank returns, is one of the largest sources of foreign exchange for this country. And we're a key enabler in that, where we have at least 80% market share. So we aggregate funds that come through from the US, which is one of our large corridors, Europe, which is another one, the UK, the Middle East, and Asia and Australia. So all these funds flow, and then they're able to be redirected into specific accounts for people to then be able to support their loved ones here, which go into other economic activities that help to empower the individuals that are here. So that's one aspect in terms of how we're making sure that everyone is financially included, whether you're here locally or a Kenyan offshore who wants to continue to invest and transact here in the country. We then move to the next piece where we've actually enabled lending. So if you think about Fuliza, which is similar to a credit card or an overdraft facility, where you want to complete a payment and you're short of funds and the money is coming in, in a short period of time, we're able to extend that credit to you. With KCB, M-PESA, and M-Shwari, we're then able to extend 7-day loans, 14-day loans that you can then now access to do your other, make your other normal, requirements, lifestyle requirements, and then you pay back within an agreed period of time. Again, on all these platforms, as you're borrowing, we're also giving you the tools to also save, right? Because we can't just consume everything that we have. We've also then created tools in which you can save. And on KCB M-PESA, on M-Shwari, and also on our Mali platform, you are able to save and get a favorable rate of return based on what the market gives you. So that's also part of financial inclusion. So one, you've been able to transact. Two, you've been able to borrow in order to meet your requirements. And three, you've been able to invest. So coming soon now, we're going to ensure that you're then able to also make sure you're covered from an insurance point of view with your asset, which we start with the phone that we have and that we extend to you. Is that covered if it's lost, if it's damaged? are you in a position to make sure you get another one so that your life goes on uninterrupted? So this is how we're driving the financial inclusion piece. And so we're moving away from just inclusion to making sure that you're financially healthy. And financially healthy means that you're able to earn an income, you're able to borrow, repay that loan, you're able to invest, and you're able to protect. So that's the next journey and chapter for M-PESA.
For M-PESA. Okay, Esther, M-PESA recently entered Ethiopia and it has made rapid progress. What feedback are you getting from customers and also from colleagues?
Oh, that's an exciting question. First of all, we're so proud to be one of the leading companies having gone into Ethiopia post-privatization of the telecommunication sector. And interestingly, we even hosted our investors in Ethiopia in February to take them into the market and for them to get a sense of how we're doing. We're super proud that we have 4.5 million M-PESA users in Ethiopia, which is quite big because M-PESA has not even been live for 9 months. So that's a huge achievement for us. But some of the feedback that we're getting is around the experience. And because we're an agile organization, we always look back and say, what are the things that we can build on that make the customer experience even much more exciting. So for all the things that we've experienced some level of friction in Kenya, we ensure that as we're building together the M-PESA Africa, that we had a very seamless, a very simple and frictionless service. So in Ethiopia, we did not build a SIM toolkit card journey. We went straight into an app. That app is very exciting. It has integrated all the services as a technology company that we have, from M-PESA to our GSM products, and the experience is amazing. And so one of the big things that we take in Ethiopia is pride that we have created a truly customer-friendly experience through the use of the app. And that allows us to give customers an excellent experience, accessible, simple, also very visual because they're using the app, and also allows merchants to then be able to showcase their different products and solutions of our platform.
So again, M-PESA is not without its challenges, right? And I mean, for every good platform, of course, these are things that it's a learning process. So you find a hurdle, you fix it, and we keep learning and growing. So there have been issues on security concerns, platform stability, transaction fees have been cited. How is M-PESA addressing these issues?
So number one, which has been quite topical, is how do we ensure that our systems are solid, that they're free from any form of cyber security issues. And so we work with the best of the best to make sure that our systems are resilient, that they are strong, and that all our customer data is fully protected and taken care of. So those are some of the things that we're continuously working with partners to make sure that we are keeping our systems resilient and strong. So that's the technology that we use. Again, as we think about the capacity, the processing capacity that we take, and just to give you an example, right now we process over 3,000 transactions per second, right? And so as we see usage continuing to grow, as you've seen over the last 3 years, where we see our volumes have increased by over 30%, in FY24, what we're seeing is that we have to continuously invest in robust technology and systems and keep on evolving our core systems to make sure that we've got enhanced capacity. So it's thinking about how do we work with microservices, so that we can then now enhance the transaction processing capacity. It's also thinking about how do we combine cloud computing with on-premise. So it's around all that mix just to make sure that we are giving our customers an optimal experience. And so that's where a lot of our resource and our investments go to. Around fraud, we found with our customers, there's a lot of social engineering. When we assess all the fraud cases that come through to us, social engineering by far is the largest contributor to fraud cases, where people impersonate others and take advantage and then extort money. So what we're trying to do with that is working with AI models to proactively start to determine what looks like a fraud case versus what is actually a legitimate case. So looking at proximity of our customers, what is it and how are they trading? Is this a usual pattern? You don't normally transact at 3 a.m. Why today are you transacting at 3 a.m? Where are you? Are you at a hospital? Are you out by the side of the street? So these are now all the things that we're leveraging technology to try and help us to address. So those are some of the challenges that we face from a fraud perspective, and continuously looking to enhance. Another area that you mentioned, we've talked about technology, we've talked about cyber, we've talked about fraud. We're now talking about value, which is a question that you said, customers are saying that they love the service, they want to continue the service, but they're not feeling that they're getting the right level of service. So what we are doing is ensuring that for our transactions, especially those that are associated with day-to-day activities. For example, if you had to take a matatu or a M3, it's under 100 shillings. Those transactions are all free. They have no cost. For a merchant, anything below 200 is an average expense. We make sure that those are free. And then we've tried as much as possible to ensure that we have fair pricing as the different tiers go up, because we are in an ecosystem. Our agents, who are about 267,000 of them, also play a very big enabling role in ensuring that our customers can access cash when they need to access cash. And so ensuring that they're equally fairly compensated for the service that they then present to us, and that we're able to continuously reinvest in these systems that allow for these huge transaction volumes to support this platform of over 34 million, that we're able to provide that service. As we continue to get economies of scale, we continuously look and see how can we then pass on value to our customers. And then now starting, we talked about financial health, that we then also help you to invest whatever is in your wallet at that time for you to get a return, which negates any amount that you'd have spent for any transaction. So that's how we're thinking about building value, which is demonstrating and going into new areas, which create value that customers are then able to feel comfortable that they're paying for a service that supports them.
I know you've spoken about a lot of innovations, and from all the examples you're saying, from accessing the funds to paying bills to being able to invest and also to save, it's a whole ecosystem.
Correct.
What is the future of M-PESA? What other capabilities are we seeing, or innovations are we seeing beyond that we should expect?
Okay, so you can expect that we're going to really make sure that you're financially healthy, and to do that, because remember, we're not a bank, we're not licensed as a bank. We're equally not licensed as a fund manager to manage assets. And so what is our future? What does the future hold? It means that we're going to be co-creating with partners who are experts in certain areas. So when you think about, for example, our credit services, we're going to be continuing to partner with banks so that we can co-create relevant solutions based on the customer insights that we get. We're a data-led organization. And so we want to use the data insights that we have gathered to create products that are relevant and useful for our customers. So the next chapter is going to be, we're going to then understand, what do you as a customer want, and make sure that we're providing you with a solution. So when you think about solutions around buy now, pay later, when you're in Naivas and you want to buy that iron, that microwave, and you're not able to do so, how do we partner with the likes of Naivas to say, yes, you can actually purchase and you can pay over installments to get the assets that you want? So that's what we're looking to do. And it'll be completely led by the insights that we see and trends that we see from our customers. When you also think about savings, there are multiple tools that you can use. So some of the partnerships that we have with government, making, solutions like M-Akiba, where you can start to invest in bonds, come alive. We're working with them to say, how can we make sure that investing can be easy for all our customers? So it's those type of strategic partnerships that will take us there. On the savings and wealth side, if you think about what the fund managers do, how do we make sure that the unit trusts are available in the right amounts of 100 shillings, similar to what we did in making payments free? How do we get them to invest in these different instruments in an easy way? So that's how we're thinking about partnerships and collaborations, looking at specialists in specific areas, partnering with them to make sure that day-to-day requirements from a financial point of view will always be met. The next chapter will be very much led again by robo-advisors. Robo-advisors will then look at your overall spend and give you advice and say, oh, Julian, today, maybe you can save 2,000 shillings because you don't need to use it until the 25th. So that's where we're moving to, where we can also start to give you personalized insights that help you as an individual to be able to grow financially.
That sounds exciting. I mean, no better way of reaching people than to personalize their experiences. Financial literacy is also another hurdle that is very common. How are we ensuring that our users understand and leverage M-PESA's full potential? Because I feel there's more we can do with M-PESA. So what are those actions that we're probably doing to ensure that they are literate when it comes to that?
Okay, fantastic. Financial literacy is the foundation of everything that we do. And it's in its concept, it's very simple. It's what you do and how do you work with money, right? But not all of us are comfortable with that, right? And so the big role that we're going to be playing in M-PESA is we're going to be participating and working with different partners. We recently signed an MOU with Ethiopian just to say, how do we educate our customers? So how are we using technology? So very soon you will see us providing little tidbits and insights on our super app to make sure that if you want to think about, what budgeting tool can I use? You'll be able to get something there that helps you to do so. I'm thinking of investing and I'm this age. What solutions would you have for me? And that's where what we're calling the robo-advisors, who then assess you based on what they've seen your information looking like. And this is all AI-based, to start to give you insights and proposals which you can then work with. We believe this is one of the ways in which you can then start to spread financial literacy. The other piece for us is, how do we gamify it? Our population in Kenya is the youth, right? And the youth, I don't think, are going to start to say, please, may you tell me how to budget? That's not their thing, right? So we have to make it fun and interactive. So how we think about gamifying a lot of the experiences as people are investing then becomes a critical part in terms of how we then start to deliver a lot of these financial tools and equipment that helps us to grow. Even as we think about some of our solutions for the youth, it's even working with schools to say, how can we come and help empower students to teach them how to work with the mobile wallets, how to save with the mobile wallets. So this starts to be ingrained in everyday activities that allows us to then scale.
Okay. So a few days ago, we had the Day of the African Child, and I know it was about literacy, financial literacy, and we have M-PESA Go. So maybe if you can speak a bit about M-PESA Go and what was the thinking behind it.
Okay. So thinking behind M-PESA Go was, we looked at our demographic. Today, if you look at the Kenyan population, I think we've got more than 65% being in the youth bracket, right? And so if we're not thinking about the youth bracket and building for the adults, let's say those who are beyond the age of youth, we may start to limit the service that we're giving to our community, to our society. So M-PESA Go was birthed to make sure that we're engaging customers from a very young age. M-PESA Go is literally for consumers between the age of 10 and 17, because what we found, a lot of parents were actually giving their children access to the M-PESA wallets, but they could transact the same way an adult does. And there's some things, of course, with age and time that children should not get exposed to at a younger age. So that's how M-PESA Go was birthed. It was to say, how do we make M-PESA or use of money relevant for the age group between 10 and 17 before they're fully adults and able to take full responsibility of their financial affairs. So whenever they're given pocket money, where are they going to use it? Where are they going to spend it? And even as I talked about gamification, this is actually the segment that we're looking to make sure that they can actually do this in a fun and easy way in order for them to learn how to work with money. How do they spend money? How do they make payments? How do they save? How do they invest? So we've curated a specific experience for the children, which then also protects them from other solutions that are more suitable for adults. So that's how M-PESA Go was birthed. How are we scaling M-PESA Go and how are we engaging with the youth? Number one, using the obvious place, which is schools, right? So working with a number of schools, alumni associations to say, how can we empower the children to make sure that they're getting the relevant financial literacy and also tools that they can then use, removing cash out of the system. What's another strategy that we're using? We're also talking to parents in their estates sitting in communities with their children and having these conversations, empowering them and saying, this is how you can work together. Because where parents and children are together, it's very easy to impart a lot of this knowledge. So also spending time doing that. We're also working with religious organizations, which is where a lot of families go and gather and commune. And again, having engagements with them, making sure that it's also relevant for their setting. So we're really just walking in the steps of any family-oriented organization to work with them and provide them the tools that they need where they're at.
My next question is about just curiosity. What is unique about Kenyans that they've adopted M-PESA so fast compared to the other regions that we're in, like 8 markets? And I know, of course, we started it first.
Yes.
But the adoption here was extremely fast.
Yeah.
What is it about Kenyans?
First of all, Kenyans like stuff that's simple to use and relevant.
Yeah.
But what is the difference between Kenyans' adoption of mobile money versus what we're seeing in the other market? So when mobile money was introduced here, cards, we were competing with cards in the market. Yeah. And as you can see, the card penetration in this country has not been very, very high. So it gave consumers an alternative that was convenient, an alternative that was with them all the time. And so that's how the popularity of mobile money has stuck. When you look at other developed markets, for example, South Africa, where the banking penetration was much, much higher, you'll find that's where mobile money has also struggled. And it has struggled because there was an alternative to access money, right? There was already an entrenched way of working with money. Whereas for us, we were just left, at that time, it was really just working with the banks. And not all of us felt comfortable walking into a bank, opening a bank account, going through a rigorous KYC process, maintaining a certain average balance. You see, we don't look and see what's in your wallet. What's in your wallet is in your wallet. If you're able to transact, well and good. So it also then caused a movement that started to evolve the banking services in this country, where you started to see more flexibility starting to come in. So if you go back to M-PESA gave customers the confidence of an instant payment, no need for to wait for a confirmation. You have an instant confirmation, you have an instant receipt of funds. And then the integration with the banks also became a very big part of that, because by extension then the banks also became our partners, and they were able to reach a lot more. The second thing is also the distribution network. Today, if you apply and you meet our qualification criteria to be an agent, you can make sure that you have an agency business. Today, we pride ourselves that every 2 kilometers, there's always an M-PESA agent. So if you need to get access to money, they're immediately available to you. Whereas a bank, you had to look for a bank branch, an ATM. And so having that the ease of access, and an agent didn't have to be anyone who's inaccessible. It could be that person who's in a pharmacy. When you're going to pick up medicine, you're also able to draw cash, right? When you're doing your daily shopping in your kiosk, that also is an agent. So that made it, the access, ease of use is what made it very compelling for Kenyans to start to use this service. And then just making sure it's an inclusive ecosystem. So today, when we think about merchants who want to integrate into our system, we've now started working with developers. So we've got over 80,000 developers that we work with today to create different solutions on our platform that continue to make M-PESA services more and more accessible, more and more easy to use. So the adoption, that started to then drive the adoption of our services. So that's the uniqueness. In the fintech business, scale and velocity are the biggest things that you need to get right. That has given us a scale. It's also then given us the velocity, because today, M-PESA transactions or M-PESA volumes account for over 66% of the total payment volumes in this country. So that's then what has created the stickiness around our services.
Last question. What message do you have for the millions of Kenyans who use M-PESA on a day-to-day basis?
So my first message is to thank each and every single M-PESA user for trusting us to deliver a service for them, trusting us with their money, which is one of the big things that everyone works towards, money, and it enables them to have access to the lifestyle that we want. So the very first message to all the M-PESA users is to thank them sincerely for their trust and belief in the system. And I want to encourage them to continue giving us feedback. We're not perfect. We want to work with them. We're here for them. We want to grow with you as our customers and our users to create something that makes your life absolutely easy. The way in which you interact with your money should not be a concern. Yeah? We want to make sure we're able to demonstrate value so you can do the things that you value the most. So really our message is one around gratitude for them continuing to use us, and an invitation to partnership where we can continue to build and grow this fantastic ecosystem together so that we can all ensure that access, adoption, and use of our services is relevant to each individual for their need.
Okay. Thank you so much, Esther. That was a very eye-opening conversation. And I want to thank you all our viewers for joining us today. I think we now understand that it's important to have the financial help. Like Esther said, you should be able to access money, get loans, invest, and also transact on the M-PESA platform. So for this and more conversations, continue watching the Safaricom Newsroom podcast. You can also read articles on our website, which is the Safaricom Newsroom. And thank you so much for joining us.